Christmas time is here. That's all I know. Hello everybody, my name is Michael Knipp and I'm here today for a very special event. There's a channel called World Hoppers, which I have been very graciously asked to participate in. That channel, all of the profits for it go to charity, and it has a collective of a bunch of different booktubers from all over the BookTube sphere, generally united by like fantasy and science fiction. We've all come together to collaborate together. It's like a really creative space. Booktuber Andy Smith had the awesome idea that for Christmas this year, we do a little bit of a Secret Santa program where everybody that wants to participate signs up and they are assigned another booktuber to read one of their favorite books that we've never checked out before. So that's a new experience for us. And then we get to review that book and tag the original creator in that video. I thought that was an absolutely amazing idea that I could not pass up. And it has been a fun experience. Through this Secret Santa project, I have been able to discover Rhythma, who makes great videos. I was immediately excited when I found her channel because it looks like she likes some of the same books that I do. She's very excited about the Stormlight Archive, and also she was talking about The Wheel of Time, which is a series I have not finished, but I have great interest in finishing, and also I've enjoyed what I've read so far. Because this project required us to read a book that we'd never read before, I dug through her channels and I found that she had a very positive review for the book Gone Girl. She was a fan of the book, she was a super fan of the movie, and this is a book I've kind of wanted to read for some time now. So this is the happy Secret Santa birthday present to Rhythma. Everyone go check out our channel. The link to her review of this book will be down below. And now let's jump into my thoughts of Gone Girl. So the thing about Gone Girl to me was that it's a book that I know blew up. It got an adaptation. The adaptation did really well. It was extremely popular on BookTube and at large because of the movie, but it's something I knew very little about. And I also knew that, like most thrillers, it was a thing where if you knew any of the like plot threads, you could have like the major impact of the story ruined. The spoilers in thrillers really mean a lot. So this was a book I have been eyeing for some time because it was one of those things where I knew that the spoilers were probably getting spread everywhere, and I wanted to make sure that I read it myself before it was spoiled for me and I couldn't enjoy it. I am so glad that I've been able to check out this book because it is a absolutely wild ride. It's a domestic thriller about an unhappy couple who has moved from New York to the Midwest after having lost their jobs. That's kind of all I will set up, except that everything is not quite as it seems, as is the case with normal thrillers. Now, I've read a couple different domestic thrillers. They're not always my favorite, but they are always something that I enjoy. And there are parts of this story that I predicted. There are some things that are seemingly so obvious that I was like, oh, there has to be a plot twist there. But by the end of this book, I was talking to people and I said, I'm pretty sure I have something that I'm calling Twist Lash, which is where there are so many plot twists one after another that it feels like whiplash, but like in a good way. Because while there are parts of the story that I sort of predicted and figured out, I never really anticipated the full spectrum of what was going on. There are certain people that may not like the fact that this is not the sort of like mystery book that you can figure out every piece along the way, because there are some things that are sort of obscured as you're going through, but honestly, it worked for me, and it was just a roller coaster of emotions. There are elements of this story that sort of have become a staple of the domestic thriller genre. There are some things that feel extremely heavy-handed, but I think that at large, when you consider the full context of everything, there's way more nuance than you realize going on, and that's all I can probably say. The domestic thrillers that I've read recently were all sort of around the 10 to 12 hour mark audiobook wise. I don't know why I always measure books in audiobook length even when I read them on the e-reader. Anyway, this book was closer to 20 to 22 hours, I think, audiobook wise, even though I read an ebook. Parts of the book sort of felt like they were a little bit slow, but I never completely lost interest. And while I do think that some of that stuff could be tightened, I understand why most of it is the way that it is. When I got to the end of the book, I was extremely excited to just start freaking out about it with people that had read it before. Thankfully, I had that benefit. I do think, like the parts at the beginning of the book, there may be a little bit of unfair stuff going on, but it sort of contributes to the ride, so I'll forgive it in this instance. And I do want to give a warning that if you are the type of person that wants books where you can care about and relate to characters, this book, like many domestic thrillers, is probably not something that you will like, because there's a lot of really messed up things that happen in this book. A lot of very dark themes are in this book, and I will reiterate, like most domestic thrillers, you're not gonna like very many, if any, characters. They're all extremely flawed, and I feel like that's an under-exaggeration. Flynn's prose in this book is very interesting to follow because it's very much indicative of the voice of the person whose head that she's in at the time, and I think she does an excellent job of portraying that. Different characters feel extremely different, and the way that they perceive the world is extremely different. It's very stream of consciousness at times, which could get on certain people's nerves, and honestly, there's a lot of times where being inside these people's heads makes them very hard to care about, but you just have to know what happens. It's a weird juxtaposition of like, I don't like these people, but it's a train wreck I can't stop watching. Isn't that kind of what we all want out of a book like this? But this is such a difficult book to talk about without spoiling, and I tend to like not always have that same problem, but because everything about this book is about the plot twists and about the journey that it's leading you on, I have a hard time saying much else. I enjoyed this book more than I tend to enjoy domestic thrillers. I would like to check out more books by Gillian Flynn, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. And I am grateful for Rhythma's recommendation, as this is not a book I probably would have picked up on my own. I'd been eyeing it for a very long time, but I was not making it a priority. But because I did, I experienced something awesome I probably wouldn't have otherwise. Now this is a part of the big cultural knowledge base that I can sort of relate to, and as I continue to think about this book in the days moving forward, my mind will probably be continually blown over and over. So thank you so much for World Hoppers for asking me to be a part of this collaboration project. Thank you to Andy for hosting the Secret Santa idea and doing all of the legwork for that. Thank you Rhythma for having an awesome channel that I've discovered. I hope you go check her out. I always love finding another fantasy friend. Go check out both Andy's and Rhythma's channels. If you'd like to see more videos from me, you can hit that subscribe button as well. Hit the thumbs up if you like this video. All the normal links, as always, are in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you again soon. Bye!
Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to